here. As you see, TTK, he's very familiar with the wizard himself, Doctor Strange, and Terra, the flexible DPS. He's gonna be playing some Punisher.
Okay, this is going to be exciting. And you know what's also more exciting too? Seeing that we are going to get the Ultron perhaps here already for our first map on Krakoa. I feel like we didn't get to see too much Ultron, actually, in the other regions. I was noting that, looking at a lot of the games that went down, so maybe seeing a little bit of a different look already off the rip within the Americas.
Yep, absolutely. To explain the maps real quick to everybody, the first map is always going to be Domination. And so Domination, random map, that's going to be the first bit. And then the losing team will get to pick the difference between Convoy and Convergence and the map as well. And then finally, the third team will have their choice if it does get to a match 3. So interesting enough, here we go. We kick things off at X-Men Island, Krakoa, to get things started.
Let's get it going, Cozy. I'm excited. My first time being able to support and cover Marvel Rivals here and being able to see Legends, how they're going to be able to forge their own story off the rip is going to be important as we open things up with that Doctor Strange portal, just so that way they can close in the gap to face off against Luminosity on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, SJP playing that role of Loki and Harvey and the Cloak. Love this new strategy we're seeing out of them. Delena being that hella goat that we typically see. And we're going to have 2 different hit scans going crazy as they do have access to Iron Man. But this is going to be a tough match for March to play a flyer with these 2 duelists.
Oh, so you have to work around this, though, here. Already, 100 Thieves trying to face this off, trying to play around the middle point here, too. Luminosity with March being over the skies on this Iron Man, still having to navigate away, but he can't get away in time. You've highlighted Delena before, and for reasons like this, you're going to have to be careful taking the skies against this goddess of death.
Yeah, I mean, he was just right out there in the open, and yes, they had a dedicated healer, but he was taking a lot of heat early. Vinny getting a nice trade there for Magneto, but Alfie doing the trading as well. This first point is the most important in Domination. Usually, the first person to capture it is going to have so much advantage because you're going to have the ult charge, and it snowballs from there. TTK, though, taking out, but we have a trade. Alfie taking out Delena as well.
Off of a little bit of a splash there, too, with Ready already activating that ult. You have Yang Hisu as well, going to be able to look to see if you can use that Luna Snow ult just to help with the survivability. The Agamotto, but already right through the Luna ult. You have to worry about the Punisher. Magneto, perfect save off that shield to completely shut them down.
Right away, we've got the ultimate fireworks coming out. We have Terra taking down Iron Man, Vinny trading there, and beautiful use of ults early. We typically don't see it that fast into a game before even a point capture, but there it is, 100 Thieves. They do get the point here, and now they're going to be pushing back Luminosity into their spawn, but I got to say right away, Luminosity, great first fight. I was impressed for what I saw.
And didn't use everything too, right? Of course, we did see the fate of both worlds used up just so that way they could survive, but then the retaliation from 100 Thieves shutting them down, but at least coming in, Haluk will be able to have that Venom ult ready to go as well as Spenny with the Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, 100 Thieves did have to use a lot to secure that as well. And if we look, both support are down here on Ultimate. But Spinny, who is not a stranger to the spotlight, he did play on Rad Esports in the Invitational. He's got that internal bond ready to go. And Venom obviously trying to get that poke early. And he's going to look maybe to put the pressure on here in the back line. Can he get to Harvey and SJP? They're so known for surviving and being unkillable.
See if they could just drop them down, but you know the problem here in this equation is Delena, who's also got that Goddess of Death ready to go just in case you need a quick reset. As Haluk dances around the vines just a little bit, trying to dive into the backline real quick, gets everybody into the Venom ult. The answer back from Delena, just so that way they could put in the pressure after Haluk tried to make a big play, but was shut down almost instantaneous here. At the same time, Luminosity did have that Cloak and Dagger ultimate that we had mentioned before here too, just to help with that sustainability. But still, they had lost out on Haluk at the very beginning.
The purple goo is everywhere. Everybody's got an internal bond out. Great opening from Haluk, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like they can capitalize as Delena is just throwing the thorns down. Now has extra with that patch. Hella just being insane in Terra. We're going to see a lot of this today. Look at Frank Castle going crazy with the big guns on that ultimate. Terra, you could do it all.
Terra and Delena are 2 scary players, the way that they just won back-to-back team fights like this, almost 0 to 100 situation. As we see the Hail Mary portal play now coming in from Luminosity, they at least do have 2 ults to work with if they make it on time.
Yeah. The Vanguard's going to have to go out first. They're going to have no extra protection, so this is going to be tough here, Brady. They're probably going to save on to these ultimates for the next round, but we'll see if they end up popping. Feels good. Yes, they do have themselves some space here. They're actually getting themselves the SJP, at least for the moment, is going to have to use Eternal Bond, which is just a win in itself for Luminosity. 2 trades here, though, Vicky, and they're able to get something going momentum-wise until TTK and Delena are shutting down those dreams.
Oh, but SJP, his survivability right here, just to keep himself in the game after transforming right out of Cloak and Dagger, forcing them off, and that was still expending an ult from Bredy, nonetheless, without them being able to turn over that first point.
Honestly, good patience there from 100 Thieves. They didn't use too many ults. They did have SJP fire away that Eternal Bond to ensure the safety, but TTK still loaded up, ready to go. We take a look here. Alfie doing a lot of the work there on Magneto, going crazy there for Team Luminosity, but Terra, you can't stop him. Delena, the 1-2 punch that we've seen for 100 Thieves. If you guys don't know, this is one of the best teams right now in perhaps the world that we're looking at, and it is showing.
Also, the flexibility between Terra and Delena. Delena being that immediate problem, but then you first have to get through TTK. You have to get through Terra, who's also covering Delena. It's a lot to deal with here, but Luminosity, they were really unable to find their footing at the beginning. We know how strong momentum is, though, in a game like Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, so we do have the Hella ultimate for March, but we're going to be able to get that in trade with Vinny and Magneto's ultimate, so we can look for that to be defensively used. But then the Agamotto could open up the perfect, just clear-cut capture of the point that we might see here from TTK as the gangs go underway here. No one TPing in, just taking up the good old middle path.
See TTK, Vinny, ult's ready to go. March as well, Alfie making some changes already. Having control here with Pro 2 is going to be so big, Cozy.
Yeah, Brady here showing a little bit of their flexibility as well. He does like to play Storm, Human Torch, but going over to this Star-Lord now, trying to get that pressure. Star-Lord is awesome for the neutral fights. There's TK with the Agamotto. He's only going for a few, but he does capture those few as both strategists, Spinny and Luna, going down, and Terra doing the rest on the left side. That's exactly what they wanted to implement.
Also, the isolation from TTK, we saw that Luminosity were kind of spread thin right there, and TTK finding the Eye of Agamotto before getting the follow-up, and then once again overtaking that point first.
Yeah, and they did not have to use much. Just that eye, with Vinny now having the Meteor Im ready for the defensive play as well. Yes, Spinny did get that ultimate online to give them a little bit more protection, but Harvey can match that quite easily. It's been fun to watch Harvey play Cloak and Dagger. Yeah, people typically think Cloak and Dagger is the easy hero, but we have one of the best supports in the world. Strategist playing that hero, and here comes Freddy with a little bit of side action and getting SJP with the early poke.
Oh no, knock knock. Punisher comes in here. Bit of both worlds, tries to push in with the Magneto ult immediately. Great save once again that we're seeing from 100 Thieves playing ring around the Rosie. Here comes a Cloak and Dagger ult from the other side, the Eternal Bond, just to keep them alive. Love the mobility that we're currently seeing from Terra. The way that they are dancing around Luminosity. They take out March, who is unable to utilize that ult right before going down first, and it's going to be another team fight win in favor for 100 Thieves.
Now, I feel for Alfie because sometimes you're able to completely counter Punisher and that ultimate with the Magneto ult. Sometimes the bubble, it bursts, and then you're left helpless and taking all the bullets right through the chest. Even though he can stop metal, it's not enough to stop Terra and Frank Castle, who we expect to see a lot today. I can almost guarantee you a ban will be coming for Punisher from Luminosity, as that is the clear difference right now.
The actual problem to look at, too. The fact as well, how strong Magneto is as a tank alone is just been so impressive. The save right there just to help enable 100 Thieves, and look how many ultimates they have online now.
Yeah, and March has not used theirs. They've got to start. Luminosity's got to use their ultimates here as we have Brady kicking off with the legendary, but there is the defensive ult, and he is a nice flip there, avoiding the meatball there from Vinny as we're getting some more pressure as March takes down Vinny. This could be at least a flip of the point here for Luminosity. They're going to use all their ults to do it, but Terra, nope, making quick with justice with the bullets to Hella, and he wiped out the team with TTK.
I mean, Terra, too. Even though he goes down right there, the amount of headshots that we're seeing, the amount of coverage, the damage output for 100 Thieves as they shut down that first map.
My goodness. I mean, Cradle, the Grove, those are just completely 100 Thieves, and that's the way you want to open the birth of esports. If you're 100 Thieves, you are known as the team on top, and what happens when you're one of the best teams? Well, everything is brought to you, and they rose up to the occasion. And we talked about Terra being one of the best duelists right up there with Sparker, and he's showcasing his flexibility, his damage, and map 1, Krakoa, goes to 100 Thieves.
In a dominating way, too. Taking a look at the stats real quick as well. The damage output, too. Terra popping off 18.6k here. And it really has to go towards the saving that we saw from the other side. Magneto being as strong as he is. But sometimes, man, that damage output, you have to think about more things here and try to enable some of these ults.
Look at just this perfect synergy. You've got the bubble on Terra, just making sure he does not get eliminated. You've got the internal bond keeping him up as well. And these are highlights, Vicky, but this is also just the Terra showcase. I mean, we're just watching non-stop eliminations here as we get 4 in a row there from Terra. That was one of the defining plays of this matchup. And I'm telling you, I think there's going to be a ban here. I don't think we're going to see Terra's Punisher next map.
Also, just highlighting the flexibility between Harvey and SJP, right? It's not just Harvey out here with that Loki, too, as you highlighted earlier on in that second round, but then being able to also force the attention from LG to be split thin, looking like chameleons, right? Looking in one direction, looking in the other, and then having to focus around 100 Thieves. I feel like it was LG and their utility of...
Yes, maybe in the typical ladder, Black Panther's not the greatest this season, but in the right hand, quick dash, what do? He can go crazy, that King of Wakanda here. But Delina, I've seen them flex over to Iron Man and the Flyers. No more Hela right now. We've got Iron Man, Tony Stark coming.
And what do you think here, going on to Midtown, how that's going to work into their favor, too? Because Midtown also, personally, one of my favorite maps here at Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one, and I think it's great for Flyers. You have plenty of coverage and ways to get in and out. Also, have that cheeky ultimate as Iron Man. Now, Iron Man does sound like a trash truck flying. He's extremely loud in the air, but if you can be sneaky enough, you're able to get some huge wipes, and maybe that's what they're banking on here. As we have both teams, this is also, by the way, Vicky, the best loading map ever, going down that elevator, setting up the suspense for the offensive team.
Is great. It's not only that, too. You get to hear a little bit of the little bot going in through the truck here, too. Gonna see how this is gonna work out. And also, yeah, maybe getting a little hint on what to expect already out of the gates as we get started within our second map.
Yeah, so here it is. We've got the Iron Man getting that nice poke damage with that AoE, the third blast, and that 5% anchor bonus that we see in season 2.5. Alfie trying to take that top angle here, the high ground, as Obi-Wan would say, as Alfie's trying to get the poke damage. They're going to work his way out. But I love their approach so far, trying to get a little bit of movement here on the cart. Most teams let them get about halfway before being aggressive.
Putting their attention, though, the way that LG is approaching, not only having some of their teammates on top of that point, but also trying to approach from the high ground here. Delena in a very tricky position too. So that way, if Delena needs to back away, you have that opportunity with already the first pick from Terra, and then the clap back from March being on the Hela.
Land and air. They've got Delina throwing in the explosions from the top, and Black Panther of Terra being a terror on the ground. And what a great way to utilize that burst damage and clean it up with the lack of damage that Black Panther does, but heavy and consistent elimination potential that we do see from Black Panther.
Also important to note with 100 Thieves, with SJP being on that rocket, that BRB beacon was already put down, bringing Delina right back into this fight. As we take a look at March finally trying to close in that gap, Haluk being able to take out SJP. One strategist already out. Delena trying to actually go around them, going in smoothing, but can't get away in time as Luminosity clear out that corner.
That starts with Haluk. Very good block of that Iron Man ultimate. Great job keeping the team alive and also showing aggression. That's exactly what you want to see from Luminosity after Krakoa. And what happened there, again, new map, new chance. And we've got both the shield tanks putting pressure on early with Strange and Magneto covering both the entrances, trying to get this point to the checkpoint here.
Oh, I have Agamotto here from Haluk here as well. Got the fate of both worlds just to keep the survivability and to right back on top of the fact that 100 Thieves have expended the Eternal Bond. Now going to be able to answer here from Luminosity. They have their own Eternal Bond. Let's see if TTK can find the mark. Answering back from the other side, though, it's going to be Alfie, who gets the pick necessary. Although you have that BRB still online, but Luminosity, it's all the way through. No breaks here for this team. Another team fight win.
A symphony of supers, and everyone just hit the chorus at the same time. I mean, I've got to give it out to Luminosity for not using everything that they had in the bank, and mostly what we did see from 100 Thieves, they used it all. We even had Black Panther go over to Punisher. Nope, he doesn't want that. Now he's going to Wolverine. Terra showing what he can do in terms of flexibility, but you got to be just clapping your hands if you're a Luminosity fan, because this is how you want to start out. Great offensive push here, and they still have 2 ultimates to boot.
Herbie would be proud here for LG, the way that they're able to control so much of the space already. Going around the corner, they got March and that Goddess of Death ready to go, ready as well with that Ultron ult. Seeing making some changes already with Vinny and SJP now being on the Invisible Woman, and gonna see what they can do here with these changes.
I like the thing play here. We're not seeing a ton of the thing here in season 2.5, as March is going to go up with the huge rain from above. Goddess of Death Not the best position, more of a zoning ult, if anything, but 100 Thieves is going to play it safe, let them at least get down to this ramp. But great positioning here for Luminosity, but they've used everything, and now 100 Thieves they have enough in the tank, and they don't even need it. Delena gets the pick on Haluk.
All that damage output as Delena's just running away with murder in the back here, too. Now controlling the front end, though, is going to be Terra, and the Goddess of Death instead has been activated from the other side. You talk about the thing, you talk about cobbling time, and you talk about finally stopping the momentum from LG.
I mean, you know, he never really left the pro scene, but I love Wolverine being back in the conversation. You know, Iron Fist taking a little bit more of a backseat in 2.5 with those nerfs he received. And we've got the true tank eliminator in Wolverine. Logan going crazy and Terra showing a good job at that. Now, both support ults are ready to go. We have the distance of the invisible boundary or the up closeness of Eternal Bond. I like that with Vinny pairing up with the Eternal Bond for just constant pressure on Alfie and Haluk.
On the other side, too. Spenny and Younghisu very close to getting their own strategist ults, too. Delena still being a problem that he is. Looking over to the side with the way that LG is holding that high ground.
You're always going to watch out for the Hela on the flank angle. This is where, you know, obviously the hero is just most deadly. We've seen Hela in every single meta. This is the flyer eliminator as well as just the sniper that can get the all-important pick on that strategist, as we do have the extermination coming from Ultron. Will it be enough to push them down this hill?
This triple support composition from LG has worked great, but 100 Thieves answering right back with the Eternal Bond. It's going to answer too from LG. Here comes a Magneto Meteor from both ends, literally having a ball from the other side, but it is TTK that gets that first elim onto Spenny too. That's going to be huge here to prevent the survivability, but luckily on the other side, 100 Thieves having SJP, having that invisible boundary is going to force LG back.
I mean, they are in sync today. These Magnetos are going up together with their purple meteors, and this time it was TTK getting the last laugh and getting that all-important pick on the strategist of Cloak and taking them down. Vinny doing a nice job, and I love the Thing versus the Thing play here. I mean, this is something you don't see too much in ladder, at least right now, and both them doing a great job. Haluk pulling the ace right now with 7,000 and ton of damage block.
Also, Delena kind of leading the way when it comes to damage output compared to March by about almost 3,000 damage in total. That just highlights the progress in terms of positioning, too, that we've been able to see from Delena. Over to the side, trying to take a more flanking angle. This time, though, March playing a lot more front heavy. Trying to play off to the back end before Delena just comes in from the same angle that Delena has been almost this entire game within this second point. Goddess of Death, perfect timing, literally at 2 HP before ringing it from above and finding Spenny.
I was just about to call out that Delena is known for these flank angles and being, they let him go. They let him be sneaky, and that is how you play Hela at the highest level. And you first start out with that Hela pick, and he got it going on March, who again is one of their best players, taking him out of the fight immediately. Listen, 100 Thieves, they bent a little bit. They did not break. They did a great job adjusting to their team comp, as now we have the portal coming, and this is going to be the last hope here for the push of Luminosity.
That was a crazy free out to Terra, but it's too little, too late. They can't make it on the point. And even though it's clobbering time somewhere else, maybe not the party that they were seeking, as the first round, they are halted all the way back, only taking that first checkpoint.
I mean, that was a glorious start, and then it fell a little bit flat. I will say, though, this map is tough to go the full distance, so even getting, you know, a little something going is at least some momentum, but this is it. They've got to hold. If they want to avoid the lower bracket, this is where Luminosity has to pull out all the stops, and they're not changing much here from the comp we just saw. And listen, if I'm 100 Thieves, I'm pretty comfortable with what we just played, because that put a full stop to Luminosity.
What I do find really interesting is how 100 Thieves have been working around these strategist bans in general. We talk a lot about SJP and Harvey, but the rocket at the very beginning of that defense allowed Delena to come right back. We saw what a terror the Iron Man was from the very beginning, and then making the swap of once we had the Thing come into the equation over to the Invisiwoman. A lot of back and forth here, but very quick realization of what you needed to change on the side of 100 Thieves.
And I like that we're getting a little bit of a peek of some of the strategies that we might see from 100 Thieves, this Iron Man and Black Panther comp. Obviously, the Punisher is great for that constant source of damage there. But really, it comes down, and I like to say this a lot with 100 Thieves, but their Vanguard play and strategist, they've got Terra, but it is so hard to pick them off. Harvey and SJP are so in sync to stay alive and pump out the heals.
They keep it up here, starting things off already. They're taking a different angle too. Look at the way that LG is positioned up on the high ground, but you can't sleep on who's coming up from behind you on the flank. Hand in hand, Delena also approaching with TTK before backing away, but it's also making LG focus all their attention without looking to your back. Here comes Terra to do the rest.
Terra just being, I mean, when has Wolverine been known to be sneaky? I mean, he just goes behind them like the animal that he is and gets a huge pick. And Delena, while getting the distraction turn, Haluk goes down as well, making it an easy way up the front main street for this payload.
Great first initial pick there too, literally splitting the attention of LG after losing now March. A bit of a stagger here too, losing out on Spenny, just a matter of time as he just swipes around, boosting up that rage even more.
Ricky, I swear, it looks like one team's playing chess, the other one's playing Jenga. This is just such a great job of 100 Thieves knowing exactly where they need to go, what positions they need to be at. We have Brady here in the backline trying to make something happen here with Ultron, getting dangerously low there as Vinny, the tree god, takes him down. And there's the first point.
This is what I'm afraid of, though. When there's momentum like this for 100 Thieves, there's been so much staggering on the side of Luminosity. There just hasn't been an opportunity for the whole team to regroup after losing out on that first player.
Yeah, it honestly just the dominance and clean and coordinated there. This is a tough map to reset as well and get out of there, especially for Brady. You're going to want to get out of there and as a third strategist, help out your team get back to this all-important hold. And this is the hold for the double elimination bracket. Luminosity will go down if they lose here, and Terra maybe going in this back end as Brady's throwing down the extermination, trying to get those supports picked. But no, everyone's hidden well, and that's the story of this map so far.
Yep, as everything is going to be able to reset right here too. You're looking at 100 Thieves and what they have ready to go. TTK obviously with that Magneto ult Alfie too. TTK taking a good amount of damage though, but 100 Thieves have a plethora of ultimates to work off of with this.
Yeah, I mean, they've got everything but the kitchen sink here, and then Terra's about to include the kitchen sink as he hits up his ultimate. I mean, you're going to have to get something going, and March is going to try to get that started here with the Goddess of Death. We have double of them going up, but TTK able to at least do something here as he takes down Haluk. And this is looking rough here as this could be the swan song for Luminosity here in the top bracket.
At the same time, you've lost both of your Vanguards. March goes down right afterwards here. LG TTK making that statement right alongside Terra, who's been a terror for LG so far. Gets clobbered right in his face, just stunned him. Priorities just keep forcing LG to stagger.
I mean, listen, it's little things like TTK pulling out the bubble there for Cloak and Dagger, making them use the all-important cooldown. That was just perfection. You can't ask for anything else if you're 100 Thieves. And listen, Luminosity, you guys play fine, but you have to know you did just play 100 Thieves. So it's okay. You're in lower eliminations now, a lower bracket, and you can kind of regroup and get things ready. But if you're 100 Thieves, this is what you wanted to see.
Man, the way that we also just saw both Magnetos trying to counter the Cloak and Dagger, the invisible boundary at 1.2. Quick adaptation here for 100 Thieves. And we talked about how dominating we saw Luminosity Gaming on their attack. Well, look how quick it was here looking at 100 Thieves, the way that they were just able to forcibly stagger LG.
Yeah, I mean, look at just the perfection across the board here. And again, it really comes down to just the double duelist play that I'll lean more into here in a second. I mean, you got the respawn timers, but for them, it was like reflection timers, just trying to think of what they can do to oppose this team. And as soon as they made this swap, which I think they have a few of